the mouth, we call, or the anus, because they're both. They're not one or the other. There's only one hole. And that's what she cut right here, because she thought that we were cutting from the underside. So that's what she cut it. So this is the anus right here. Okay, so if you're in the mouth, vice versa. So that's what it would look like. Well, up on the top, yes.
Oh,
it's
the
just for
areas
water
called
areas.
Just for water.
Yeah, just for water.
Oh.
Okay, remember this, they don't have a skeletal system really, right? They use water to create that hydrostatic thing to make them big. There are some parts where we kind of figured that there might be like some type of cartilage on it, but most of the time those are the ones to kind of support your legs. And that's because your legs, in this case, they're two, right? So they're able to kind of walk. So that one doesn't walk. The sponge, right, started to swim, but I wish I brought my video. I actually have this video that I show my high school kids where you can take a sea anemone, actually would lift up, literally, as in they're sessile, so that means that they're actually attached. But if they're ever in danger of being, eaten or whatever, they literally lift up and move away, and then they attach again somewhere else. Okay, so there's no movement, right, a little bit until they turned over and became more of a floating with your tentacles, and now you don't need that because now you have 2 feet that you can now move around. The other key thing about this is that both the sponge and the hydras, or the cnidarians, in this case jellyfish, and the starfish, they have in common is that if you cut them in any place along here, they're called radial symmetry. So you cut them on this side, they will grow back. Okay, but if you cut them in the middle like she did, right, you kill them.
Killer.
And that's because of this. What you did is you literally took away their pyloric and their cardiac stomach all the way through. It's kind of like kicked in with the heart. Okay, so if you're looking here, let's go ahead and show them. Right, we're looking at the. Let's look at the big parts first. So they're here. So you're looking at the digestive gland. So again, they just eat the whole time, right? So the digestive is this big thing right here. So every single part of this starfish have that large digestive gland. So really, they don't have to think about it. They just eat all the time. And what they eat is what we're going to go next, which is the bivalve. Okay, they literally eat that. So you see that they needed to open it up, and there's a lot of digestive enzymes. And so because they eat every single time, you need a big, gigantic stomach, really. And they have 2. You have what they call the pyloric stomach, which is the same color, right, which is right there, okay? And that's the one that's up on the top. And then you have what they call the cardiac stomach, okay, which is on the bottom. And the cardiac stomach sometimes work the same way that you would the muscle parts. It's not a muscle in a sense because there's just water running through it, right? But it's a way of making the 2 feet to actually kind of move. Then you have the first thing of cartilage, right? Type of skeleton in this case, and those are the tube worms. So if you are tube worms, 2 feet, and so if you see it right here, she flipped it, right? And it's right here on this side. So this one, if you go look under a dissecting scope, you could actually see that in their little suction cups that kind of come out. So again, it's water that's running through that to kind of keep that. And if you feel it, right, you think that she felt it should have been like harder, right? Because if you see it, if you pick it up on a tide pool, it literally looks like it's hard. But that's because what it does is that it kind of goes into shock, kind of like what you do. If you're like in a car accident, you freeze. That's what it does. Freeze! They think I'm a rock, right? So that's when you pick it up, that's what it is. So this one, well, it's dead, so it doesn't want to think like it's a rock anymore.
Are those like attached to like the siphon, which then like that
Yes.
gets the water in?
That's correct. Yeah. And then it leaves back on top. But again, there's only one hole, right? Both the mouth and the stomach, or mouth and the anus are the same. So as soon as
It's on the top or underneath? It's
underneath,
oh.
it's underneath. So this is it right here. So this one is actually underneath there. Okay.
Saves on floss.
Yeah, that's right. So that's that. So again, like I said, if you cut it on the sides, like if you cut the feet off, they literally would grow up the feet again. Because guess what? If you cut part of the gland, the digestive gland, right, you still have 4. So then you can just grow a new one. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to the